Scene script. Hello, young explorers. Ever wondered how many sides a square has? Welcome to our fascinating journey through the world of shapes. Shapes are everywhere. They are in the buildings we see, the toys we play with, and even the food we eat. Shapes make up the world around us, and they are a fundamental concept in math and science. So getting to know them is like learning a new language that helps us understand and describe our world better. But what exactly is a shape? Well, in simple terms, a shape is the form of an object or its external boundary. It's like the outline you would draw if you traced around an object with a pencil. In other words, it's the silhouette that an object casts. Now, let's dive into the world of shapes with our first shape, the square. Just think about it. Can you picture a square in your mind? It's like a box or a picture frame. Maybe you're even thinking about a square piece of chocolate. Yummy! But here's a question to ponder. How many sides does a square have? Take a moment. You might want to use your fingers to trace an imaginary square in the air. That's right, if you've guessed 4, then you're absolutely correct. A square has 4 equal sides. That means each side is the same length. It's a pretty neat shape, isn't it? In fact, squares are everywhere around us. They're in the windows of our homes, the tiles on our floors, and even in the pixels on our screens. Squares are so important that they're one of the first shapes we learn about when we're just little kids. So, remember, a square has 4 equal sides. It's a simple yet fascinating shape that helps us make sense of the world around us. That's right, a square has 4 sides. Now, let's move on to another shape. Now, can you tell me a shape that has no corners at all? Yes, you've got it. It's a circle. A circle is a very special kind of shape. It's unique because unlike many other shapes, it doesn't have any corners or sides. Imagine that. It's like a line that decided to take a journey, and it went around and around until it met its starting point, creating a perfectly round path. Just think about the sun or the moon in the sky, or a wheel on a car. They're all circles. Even some of your favorite things might be circles, like a delicious pizza or a bouncy ball. And here's a fun fact. Did you know that a circle is the same all the way around? That means if you were to walk all the way around a circle, you'd end up right back where you started. So, a circle is a shape with no corners or sides. Great job. What about a shape with just 3 sides? Can you guess which one it is? Well, if you guessed a triangle, you're absolutely right. A triangle is a very special shape in our world. It's one of the simplest yet most versatile of the shapes. You see, a triangle has 3 sides. You can count them. 1, 2, 3. And each of these sides meets at a point forming what we call a corner. And how many corners does a triangle have? Just like its sides, a triangle also has 3 corners. Look around you. Can you spot any triangles? Maybe in a slice of pizza or the roof of a house or even in a mountain peak far away? Triangles are everywhere once you start looking for them. So let's remember a triangle is a shape with 3 sides and 3 corners. Yes, a triangle has 3 sides and 3 corners. You're doing fantastic. Now, think about a shape that looks like a stretched square. Any ideas? If you're imagining a rectangle, you're spot on. A rectangle is a fascinating shape, quite similar to a square in some ways, but with its own unique twist. Like a square, a rectangle has 4 sides. However, unlike a square where all sides are equal, a rectangle has an interesting difference. In a rectangle, 2 sides are longer than the other 2. It's like someone took a square and pulled it to make it longer. This gives us a shape that's perfect for many things in our world, like doors, books, and even our TV screens. Just remember, if you see a shape with 4 sides, 2 of which are longer than the other 2, you're looking at a rectangle. So, the next time you see a door or a book, you'll know it's a rectangle you're seeing. That's correct. A rectangle has 4 sides, but unlike a square, 2 sides are longer. Well done. Scene script. Are you ready to explore more shapes? How about one with 5 sides? We've already discovered circles, triangles, and rectangles, but there's a whole world of shapes waiting to be explored. Today, we'll dive a little deeper and meet some new, more complex shapes. Let's start with one that has 5 sides. Can you guess what it is? That's right, it's a pentagon. Pentagon comes from the Greek word penti, which means 5. If you look closely, you'll notice that a pentagon is like a house with a sloping roof. Can you imagine that? A house with a sloping roof. Now let's add one more side. What do we get? Yes, a shape with 6 sides, known as a hexagon. Hexa is the Greek word for 6. Think of a hexagon like a honeycomb in a beehive. It's fascinating, isn't it? But wait, there's more. Can you imagine a shape with 8 sides? This is called an octagon. Octa is the Greek term for 8. An octagon is like a stop sign. Have you seen one of those? It's incredible how these shapes surround us in our everyday lives. From the house we live in to the honey we eat and the signs we see on the roads, shapes are everywhere. And now that you know about pentagons, hexagons, and octagons, you'll start spotting them all around you. Remember, shapes are not just about lines and sides. They're about seeing the world in a whole new way. They help us understand and organize the world around us. Shapes are magical, aren't they? Just like circles, triangles, and rectangles, these new shapes, pentagon, hexagon, and octagon, are your friends too. They're waiting for you to discover them in your surroundings. So, the next time you're out and about, don't forget to look around for these shapes. Amazing! You've just learned about the pentagon, hexagon, and octagon. Keep looking around, and you'll find these shapes everywhere. Scene script. Wow, you've learned so much today. Can you remember all the shapes we've talked about? Let's take a journey back and remember the wonderful shapes we've discovered together. We started with the circle. That's right. Circles are round and smooth with no corners or edges, just like the sun in the sky or a delicious cookie. Can you spot any circles around you right now? Then we moved on to the triangle, a shape with 3 sides and 3 corners, each corner pointing in a different direction. It's like a mountain peak or a slice of pizza. Triangles are everywhere if you know where to look. Next, we explored the rectangle. Rectangles have 4 sides with 2 sides longer than the other 2. They're like a door or a book. They're handy shapes used in many things we see and use every day. But we didn't stop there. Oh no. We ventured further and discovered even more shapes. Do you remember? Yes, the square with its 4 equal sides, just like a perfect sandwich, and the oval like an egg or a rugby ball. And how can we forget the star, shining bright like the ones we see twinkling in the night sky? And let's not forget the exciting shape of a heart, a symbol of love and kindness. Just like the love and kindness we see in you, our young explorers. You've done an incredible job remembering all these shapes and their characteristics. It's not always easy, but you've shown great determination and curiosity. And that's what makes learning so much fun. Remember, every shape has its unique characteristics and uses. They all have a special place in our world, making it diverse and interesting. Just like each one of us, every shape is important and has its unique role. Keep this curiosity alive. Continue to explore and learn about the world around you. There are so many more shapes out there waiting for your discovery. Can you imagine what they might be? Maybe you'll find shapes that no one else has seen before. Fantastic job, young explorers. You've learned about squares, circles, triangles, rectangles, and many more shapes. Remember, the world is full of shapes waiting for you to discover them. Keep exploring.